Um, Hi, am I visible? I feel like I'm very dark. Maybe I should move. My background is too dark. Um, there are some fighters here. Ving Pichel, Ismail Bonfim. Uh, I'm trying to before I start these predictions, these early predictions. I'm trying to make sure that my lighting is not too bad. Uh, yeah, I think this is a little bit better. Um, I'm going to do the early predictions. I don't think the card is final, especially if Alex Pereira has the intention of being on the card. I feel like the UFC will make a plan to actually put Alex Pereira here, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It also depends on the opponent, right? The possible opponents. Before I start, the early predictions, the possible opponents for Alex Pereira, if they actually do this fight, will probably be someone who doesn't deserve the title fight, which will probably be Khalil Roundtree. I don't think Magomed Ankalaev is going to accept this fight on 2 weeks' notice. So most likely it's going to be someone who's exciting, who has knockout power, um, who's at Erceg. So I'm going to try and predict the hypothetical fights for Alex Pereira, but let me start with the card, and I'll come to Alex Pereira towards the end of or rather at the end of this particular stream. Um, the opening fight is Alessandro Costa versus Kevin Borges. Um, it's quite difficult to actually predict this one, largely because these are early predictions, right? So it means I haven't done a lot of research on either fighter. But I'd say, yeah, this is a really tough one to actually predict. Let me try and see if there's any indication that can help me maybe make an informed decision. Not an informed decision, but a better prediction. Even if it's early, I don't want to just give you guys like stupid predictions that because I think my early predictions for UFC 300 were almost accurate. They were pretty decent. I just didn't check how much I did, how good I did. Okay, let me see how good he is on the feed. Um, okay, I'm checking their skills basically right now, and then I'll give you my official prediction. Who's this? Okay, I'll go Costa. I'll go Costa. I'll go Alessandro Costa. I feel like he has maybe a variety of other ways to win. Who do you got? Tyson versus Jake. Uh, I don't know if I'll ever even do a stream for that. Maybe I'll try to do a stream for that, a separate stream. But this is for UFC 301. So between my pick, my early pick is going to be Alessandro Costa. I feel like he has more ways to win. Um, on the feed and on the ground, even though it's gonna be a little bit challenging to get the fight to the ground because he's not very good at taking people down. But I feel like between the both of them, he's a little bit more accurate in terms of striking. I feel like he's a little bit better. Um, Not better because his takedowns are not that great as far as I've seen so far. On to the next one, Ismail Bonfim versus Ving Pichel. This is the fight that was supposed to be booked in the first place, right? My last sub, uh, last my sub and like LOL. Way to answer. Oh, you mean I lost your sub and like, I mean, dude, I don't feel like Tyson versus Jake Paul is an interesting fight, right? So it's not like I was being rude or anything like that. But for me personally, I'll probably do a stream, a separate stream. But this is for UFC 301, my dude. Like I can't mix like predictions for a boxing fight with MMA. Like if you don't want to subscribe, then that's cool. It's up to you because this channel is very useful. But if it's not for you, then I understand. I'm not going to force the situation. But this is for MMA, and I watch MMA predominantly, specifically the UFC. Um, and even the title of this stream is it says UFC 301 early predictions. So if you want me to do something with boxing, especially Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, I mean, Alexandra said he won't fight on 301. Alex, okay, we'll see. Let me proceed. Ismail Bonfim versus Ving Pichel. I think Ving Pichel is old now, dude. Like, I don't feel like, even despite how Ismail Bonfim performed in his last fight, I still feel like he's pretty good. So I'm going to go Ismail Bonfim. I'm not going to even lie to you. I still feel like he's good. He's good enough at the very least to actually beat Ving Pichel. Um, yeah, on to the next one. Dione Barbosa versus Ernesta Katie. Oh, these names, dude. Oh, but what can I do? These are early predictions, guys. So let me see her striking abilities. Um, okay, okay. She has decent striking. I like offensively. She's very good. Dione, she's very good offensively and defensively. She's able to evade strikes, but she doesn't throw a lot, so that might work against her. And then who's this? Okay, okay. This one is going to be a little bit interesting because Ernesta, I feel like she is more of a grappler, and then Dione, I think she's more of a striker. So I think, and this is me like being early in terms of predictions. Let me see. Damn, she has a ground game. Like she has good submissions. Dione very lethal in terms of submissions on the ground. Um, and she shoots a lot of takedowns. Let me check Ernesta and see how she does on the ground. 145. Okay, I think I have my pick. I think my pick is going to be Dione. Dione Barbosa. I think that's her name. Dione Barbosa. I feel like she has decent enough striking to actually stay on the feet if she needs to, and I think she's very lethal on the ground. She's very lethal on the ground. Uh, yeah, Pereira knocked out Jamal Hill, man. I saw that. But my predictions, my official 10 out of, what do you call it, 13, which is pretty good. So, yeah. I might have gotten 3 wrong, but I got 10 right. Um, but I was disappointed in Jamal Hill. But let me not get sidetracked. I already reacted to that. Um, but yeah, my official pick is going, not official. Early prediction is going to be Dione Barbosa. I feel like on the feet she's decent. On the ground she's lethal. So I'm going to go with Dione. Moricao Rufi. Oh, these names! Like if there's anyone from Brazil, guys, I'm reading these names for the first time, so I'm not trying to even be racist. I'm trying to actually pronounce these words. I can't. Mauricio, yeah, Mauricio Rufi versus Jamie Malarkey. Um, Based on Jamie Malarkey's last performance, I don't even know a lot about this Rufi guy, but Jamie Malarkey is not like does not look. It's gonna be very difficult. It's gonna be very difficult. Um, I'd have to research a little bit more, but based on experience, but I doubt that the UFC would match up anyone who's not good against Malarkey. and Malaki has not looked good so far. So early prediction, I think I'm going to go with Rufi just because Malaki hasn't been looking that great so far. On to the next one. Joaquim Silva versus Draka Klaus. You know what? I'm going to go with Joaquim Silva. I feel like Silva, but Pantoja will win. Okay, I'll get to that fight. Pereira versus Ankalaev 301. We'll see. We'll see. I'll get to that as well. I'm going to predict hypothetical fights for Alex Pereira at the main event. Joaquin Silva versus Draka Klaus. I feel like Joaquim Silva looked good against Aman Sarukian, and Aman Sarukian just looked incredible against Charles Oliveira. So I'm going to go with Joaquim Silva on this one. I think he has the ability to get it done. On to the next one, Jean Silva versus William Gomez, the Frenchman. It's gonna be difficult, but I think I'm going to go with William Gomez. I think Jean Silva is also good, but let me see how he is on the ground before I officialize my pick. Bear with me. I'm just checking. Even though these are early predictions, I want to make sure that at the very least they are as close to accurate as possible. Okay. Okay. He's very good on the ground, but he doesn't have a lot of submissions. So it's normally so Jin Silva is good in terms of takedowns, but I think he has ground and pound. He's not like too much of a submission threat. So I think on the ground he largely grounds and pounds. He controls the fight. He can take you down, but let me see how difficult it is to take Gomis down. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm going to go with William Gomis. I'm sticking with my pick. I think he's a little bit better everywhere. So yeah, my official pick is going to be William Gomez. Not official early pick, yes. My early pick is going to be William Gomez. On to the next one, Elvis Brenner versus McDuckbag Orobai. Oh my goodness. Why is this fight in the prelims? Under okay, Joe Anderson Bray 2, okay. Paul Craig. I'm going to go with McDuckbag Orobai. I don't even have to check anything. Elvis Brenner is not gonna beat Orobai, man. Orobai, if you don't know who Orobai is, Orobai came in on I think 3 days' notice against Uros Medic, and just owned him. I just owned Uros Medic on the ground, and like it was incredible to watch on 3 days' notice, guys. And then people like to people like to say, "Oh my God, this person came in on short notice, and that's why they won't win." Or Kamaru Usman, that's what a lot of people use as an excuse for him losing. He came in on short notice. Magdik Bagorobai came in on short notice, 3 days short notice, and then owned Uros Medic. Uros Medic has 100% finishing rate, and Orobai came in and just dominated that guy on 3 days' notice. I think it was at welterweight. So I'm definitely going with Orobai on this one. I don't even have to check the anything. I'm 100% sure. If there's any sure pick on this card, without even doing research, if you want a lock, like a serious lock, it's Orobai. I'm 100% sure that he's going to be a massive favorite on this one. Um, on to the next one, Carolina Kowalkiewicz versus is my Yasmin Lucindo. My official pick will be Yasmin Lucindo. I've underestimated her for far too long, um, and she's proven me wrong a couple of times. So I feel like she's very talented, and she keeps on improving every single time I see her in the octagon. I think Carolina is decent, but she's not good. So I'm going to go with Yasmin Lucindo. On to the next one. Joanderson Brito versus Jack Shaw. I don't know a lot about Jack Shaw, but um, the UFC must not like this. Yeah, yeah, man. Like Pantoja, I think Orobai. I don't know. I don't know about Pantoja because Steve Erceg is going to be a tricky one. I'm going to say Orobai is the safer bet. Orobai and Joanderson Brito, not Pantoja. I wouldn't go for Pantoja. If you want this like easy picks, it's going to be Magdegberg Orobai and Joanderson Brito. Those are the easiest picks that I can see on the card so far, which is obviously my pick between Joe Anderson Brito versus Jack Shaw. I think Joe Anderson Brito is going to just run through this dude. I don't even know who he is. Obviously, I still have to do my research first, but I don't see this guy beating Joe Anderson Brito. But yeah, the Joe Anderson Brito and Magdegberg Orobai are the most safest picks on this card so far. On to the next one, Paul Craig versus Caio Borralho. I think Paul Craig is getting old now, um, and he only knows how to submit you if he can get you to the ground. Well rounded. I think Caio is significantly younger. I think he's going to be able to prevent any type of grappling exchanges, and on the feet, I think he beats Paul Craig. Potentially even on the ground. I still have to do my research, but my unofficial pick is going to be Caio Borralho. On to the next one, Anthony Smith versus Vito Petrino. I don't even have to look at any information to make my pick. Vito Petrino, Anthony Smith has been looking horrible recently. I can't, with a conscious mind, pick him. Um, on to the next one, Michel Pereira versus Mahmoud Muradov. um, this is a tricky one. This one needs a lot of research. But based on Uzbekistan, this is going to be a tricky one. But nonetheless, based on previous performances, I don't know, man. Mahmoud fight dropped. Okay, just in case, I think I would go with Michel Pereira. But if the fight has been cancelled, or it's Ihopoti area. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Obviously, it's 2 weeks away, so the UFC has not adjusted its information. Um, Let me move on to the next one then. It's Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo. Uh, damn. Okay. By the way, if it's Ihopoti area, I'm definitely picking Michel Pereira. By the way, I think Jonathan Martinez is going to beat Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo is older now. He retired and is coming back. I haven't checked his age, but even when he retired, I feel like he was still older at that time. So I think Jonathan Martinez is going to take this one. Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. Um, this is a little bit tricky because I feel like Erceg is a massive threat to Pantoja's reign, especially looking at Pantoja's last performance. It wasn't that impressive. Um, so if Erceg can land a big shot, it's gonna be a problem. I mean, one of the reasons why Erceg got the shot is because but Pantoja has run through everyone in his division, right? It's largely because Pantoja has run through everyone in his division, and that's basically why Steve Erceg got the shot. Obviously, who's this guy? Mokaev, I think. Mokaev had a boring fight, so maybe they want him to fight someone else who's a little bit more. Is it Mokaev? Yeah, whoever it is had a recent boring fight. That's why he's not getting the shot. So I don't know, man. This is a hard one to call, but based on their previous fights, I know Steve Erceg was not fighting like a top five fighter, but he knocked his opponent out, whereas Pantoja had like a boring five rounder and he seemed a little bit tired in that fight. I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with Steve Erceg. Keep in mind, this is an early prediction. I still have to do my research. Um, and Alex Pereira. Is Alex Pereira going to be on this card? I'm not sure. But if he's going to be on this card, here are the possible fights. Number one is going to be Ankalaev, of which I doubt Ankalaev might reject this because it's on short notice. It might be Khalil Roundtree. He has knockout power. He's called out um, what do you call it, Pereira before around the light heavyweight division, and the UFC will most likely go for someone who has knockout power, who can pose a threat to Alex Pereira, and Khalil Roundtree would take this fight on short notice because he doesn't deserve it. So. I mean, he's not going to turn it down, even if it was 1 week 1 week's notice. I think Khalil Roundtree would actually take the fight if they offered it to him. So that's why he's exciting enough for the UFC to actually consider him. And he is low enough in the rankings to actually take it on short notice. So that's why I said Khalil Roundtree. But, anything is possible. At heavyweight, I could see Pereira fighting Cyril Gahn. But Cyril Gahn has a history of rejecting fights, so probably that's not going to happen. And I say Cyril Gahn because Pereira, in his post fight interview, was asked about Tom Aspinall, and he said something like, I never said I want to fight Tom Aspinall. I just said I want to move up to heavyweight. So probably he's not even thinking about Tom Aspinall. And if another striker, and the only other striker that I can think about is what do you call him? Cyril Gahn. But like I said, Cyril Gahn does not take difficult fights. If it's not for the championship, then he's not going to take a really hard fight. So most likely the highly possible fight at UFC 301 that I can see is between Ankalaev and Khalil Roundtree. But Ankalaev, I don't know. Maybe he's been preparing, but if he hasn't been preparing, he might reject it, and Khalil Roundtree might step in on short notice. So, who wins between Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira? Um, Ankalaev is well rounded. He can strike and he can grapple, and I feel like he's not going to even wait to find out how good Pereira is on the feet. He's going to try and make sure he grapples as soon as possible. And I haven't seen Pereira do really well against grapplers. Despite the fact that he just came off a knockout, he hasn't fought a good grappler before. So, and he struggled against Jan Blachowicz. So, even though I didn't pick Pereira before, I still feel like Ankalaev is going to win this one. Um, yeah, I still feel like Ankalaev is going to win this one. If Alex Pereira fights Khalil Roundtree went to the third round with Anthony Smith, if I'm not mistaken. And you shouldn't go to the third round against, was it Anthony Smith? I think it was. I think it was Anthony Smith. And you shouldn't go to the third round with Anthony Smith. So I think Pereira would win that one. If if Alex Pereira was to fight Cyril Gahn, I'm just telling you the possible fights for Alex Pereira if he fights on UFC 301. If Alex Pereira was to fight Cyril Gahn, which is the fight that I think Alex Pereira wants, not necessarily Tom Aspinall. If he actually fights Cyril Gahn, I think Cyril Gahn does not have that much power. He wins with volume. So if Alex Pereira was to move up, I think he would beat Cyril Gahn. In the crazy event that Tom Aspinall somehow agrees to defend his belt at the UFC 301, which I doubt will happen, especially because there's a fight there's a fight card in the UK soon, and I'm sure they will want Tom Aspinall on that card. I don't think they will allow Pereira, especially after what Dana said about him moving up. He's not for that, so I don't think they're going to make that fight. But just in case, I'll give you my early prediction. I think Tom Aspinall is very good on the feet. He's very good on the ground. I don't see Pereira beating Tom Aspinall. So if Pereira fights Aspinall, I'm going to pick Aspinall. If Pereira fights Khalil Rountree, which is the highly possible fight if Ankalaev has not been preparing, I'm going to go with um, but again Alex Pereira. If he's fighting Khalil Rountree, if he's fighting Cyril Gahn, I'm going to go with Alex Pereira. If he's fighting Ankalaev, I'm going to go with Ankalaev. My other predictions